It is October 26, 2016. This is Mike Callahan, and welcome to the Watchman News. So, due to a large public outcry over switching video over something that had happened recently with enlisted service members, people just were outraged by it. And apparently it did not go unnoticed. Good news. Pentagon suspends California National Guard bonus repayments. This is awesome. The Pentagon worked Wednesday to stave off a public relations nightmare, suspending efforts to force California National Guard troops who served in Iraq and Afghanistan to repay their enlistment bonuses that may have been improperly awarded. Defense Secretary Ash Carter ordered the suspension in the wake of angry reaction from congressional Republicans and Democrats. They demanded he relieve the burden of Guard members following news reports that the soldiers were asked to repay bonuses that in some cases totaled more than $25,000. The announcement does not end the reimbursement process, but postpones collection efforts while the Pentagon and Congress look for a long-term solution. White House spokesman Josh Ernst said President Barack Obama was pleased with the decision, but said it was important for the Pentagon to follow through by finding a long-term solution. Obama had warned the Defense Department earlier this week not to nickel and dime service members who were victims of wrongdoing by overzealous recruiters. In a statement issued during a meeting of defense ministers in Brussels, Carter said efforts to collect reimbursement from Guard members should stop as soon as it is practical. Carter said he ordered the department to set up a streamlined process by January 1st to help troops get relief from the repayment obligation, because the current program has moved too slowly. Acting Under Secretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness Peter Levine told reporters Wednesday that the process of identifying and processing the California Guard members who might have to repay the money may take up to 10 days. If we determine that recoupment was unjustified, there will be a process that allows the recovery of that and the reversal of that money, Levine said. It might be Levine. I think it is Levine. Levine said they are looking to set up a one-stop place for those affected to get a hearing and review, noting that the goal is to eliminate a bunch of sequential processes. The details of that process have yet to be determined, he said. Among about 14,000 California Guard members whose bonuses and other incentive payments were reviewed, about 3,000 of those are men and women who have since left the National Guard, Levine said. They will be eligible for repayment as well, but it hasn't been determined how those cases will be handled since they do not have current addresses or contact details for many of those individuals, he added. Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman John McCain said the move by the Defense Department is a long overdue first step, and he vowed to work with the Senate colleagues to explore all options available to hold those responsible for this unacceptable situation accountable and to ensure this never happens again. Representative Jeff Miller, chairman of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, called the measure a weak and ham-handed attempt to shift the focus away from the Obama administration's shameful treatment of service members and veterans. Carter seems to have no plan to make those who've already been forced to pay back their bonuses whole, and by focusing only on the California Guard, he is ignoring what media reports indicate could be national problems, Miller said. The Los Angeles Times reported over the weekend that the Pentagon demanded that thousands of soldiers repay their enlistment bonuses after audits revealed overpayments by the California National Guard. Recruiters under pressure to fill ranks and hit enlistment goals at the height of those two wars improperly offered bonuses of $15,000 or more to soldiers who re-enlisted. If soldiers refuse to pay the bonus back, they could face interest charges, wage garnishments, and tax liens. While some soldiers knew or should have known that they were ineligible for benefits they were claiming, many others did not, Carter said, adding that the new process will put as little burden as possible on any soldier who received an improper payment through no fault of his or her own. At the same time, it will respect our important obligation to the taxpayer. But the country's largest combat veterans organization said the measure doesn't go deep enough. Brian Duffy, National Commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States and its auxiliary, said the erroneous bonuses were the fault of a system, not of any recipient. As many as 6,500 California National Guard soldiers have been asked to repay the enlistment bonuses. We deal with these problems all the time, but we deal with it in ones and twos, not in hundreds and thousands, said Gordon Trowbridge, Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary. The Pentagon said it is investigating cases beyond California, but said those will likely add up to dozens. House Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin, who had pressed the Pentagon to suspend the program, said Wednesday, "I'm glad the Pentagon came to its senses." House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican of California, also welcomed the development, saying he spoke with the Deputy Defense Secretary Robert Work Tuesday night and vowed to work with other members of Congress to prove a legislative solution so the repayment issue does not recur. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, welcomed the Pentagon's announcement, but said lawmakers need to find a permanent solution. The heroes who served our country in uniform deserve every bonus and benefit they received in good faith, she said. We all must work together to swiftly address this situation and monitor any additional issues that come up in California and other states. Baldur reported from Brussels. Associated Press writer Vivian Salama in Washington contributed to this report. I will put a link to this down in the description tab, and I would remind people to keep an eye on this, because often the government does stuff like this, and then they pile a bunch of bureaucratic red tape on top of it, and what happens is the people never see anything. It never comes to fruition. So it's something that we need to keep. You know, they might be just putting a Band-Aid on a wound right here because of the public outcry. So we kind of need to keep an eye on this. You might want to bookmark this report and maybe check back with it later and keep an eye on the situation. So I agree. You know, these folks deserve the utmost respect, and they go there. They in most cases put their lives on the line. They have to leave their families. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable. And then we treat them like trash. The frustrating thing is all the homeless vets that we have on the streets. That is crazy, absolutely crazy. And we need to work on that. We need to work on the VA hospitals. We need to work on this whole situation, because these people that have gave the most are getting the least. And it makes absolutely no sense. And then they get this stuff coming at them. You know, they're promised one thing, and then all of a sudden it just don't happen. You know, which recruiters have always been known to do that kind of stuff. But it's something to keep an eye on. Make sure that they keep with what they're saying.